Just getting things set up here. All right. I hope everybody can see me. Well, hello, let me introduce myself. I am Jenny with Jenny's Wreath Boutique. And before I start anything, I want to let you know that yes, my VIP group is open to new members. I have to share that at the beginning. From now until September 5th, this is 2024. So if you're watching this later after that date, you can get on the wait list using the same link, but I have a link in the comments if you want to join. But anyway, let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm not sure why mine is not working. Can you guys hear me? Do you see me? It's not coming up on my thing here. Oh, someone please tell me if you can see me live, because for some reason it's not working on my iPad. Okay, good. You can hear me. Thank you so much. Oh, goodness. All right. So in this video, I want to talk about the truth about selling wreaths on Etsy. I actually always tell the truth about it, but the title is very dramatic. So anyway, but it's not all easy breezy, like throw up your wreaths and they're going to sell. I know a lot of people have told me in the past, I'm afraid to list all of these and I'm going to sell them all overnight. I mean, it could happen, I guess, but I've never seen that happen. Usually it's a slow process in the beginning, and then once you get that momentum going, it can really pick up, and it's different for everybody. But yes, I wanted to talk about that because I love to share my success. Because it's inspiring to a lot of people, and it's true, and it has literally changed my life and my family's life. Open doors that I never thought possible. And I want to share that, and I want that for you too, and I want to help you get there. But some of you can get discouraged seeing things like that if maybe your shop isn't doing as well, or maybe I'm sharing my student success. I don't want that to ever be discouraging to you. I want to show you that it's not too late. Yes, there are a lot of wreath makers out there, but it's actually not too saturated to be successful. Is it saturated? Yeah, as everything. There's a lot of people in the world doing the same thing. Nobody's original at anything, but it's not too saturated. So I wanted to talk about that. So there are some things that can be discouraging. So, and things change. Etsy is completely different than when I started. That's not saying that if I started now, I wouldn't be successful. I know a lot more now, and I think I would, if I had to start again, I think I could do it very successfully again. And there's nothing special about me. Whenever I say that, I'll get messages like, Jenny, yes, there is. You're so special, blah, blah, blah. I do what I can. I do my best, but there's nothing special about me. I mean, I'm special in God's eyes, and my husband's eyes, and my kids' eyes, yes, and my parents. But like, overall, I'm not special. So I'm actually painfully shy in real life and kind of awkward, which that probably comes across. But I don't know. I want to get this through to you. Like, you can do this too. I want to get you through that. But let's talk about some things. Diane says, how do you know what to charge for shipping? I actually have a whole training on that. Shipping 101 course inside of the VIP group. But I do have a shipping video as well. It's older on YouTube, and most of those things still apply. But anyway, so algorithms change. Yes. Styles change, trends change, spending habits change. What was working for you 2 years ago might not work for you now. So, but that's just part of business. That's everything. So if you're getting complacent, and I've done this before, I talked about this in a video I posted earlier in the year. So last year wasn't as great as I was hoping it would be, and I have changed a lot of things this year and going forward. I'm still not perfect at it, but it has helped a lot. So it's important with all those changes to control what you can control. So by that is always be learning, always be adapting, and stay consistent through the ups and downs. As if you've been selling on Etsy or selling anywhere really, you've probably seen the roller coaster. So like there's really busy times or slower times, and that can vary. The timing can vary year over year, but it can also be pretty consistent. But maybe last year, this time, you were just flooded with orders, and now things are not as busy as you're used to them. So you got to see what's working, what's not working anymore, and then change it up. So I hope that makes sense. And that's something that I try to keep everybody up with inside my VIP group, which is open right now. And I really, really want to help you. But all right, so some things that you should always be working on that will help you, whether you sell wreaths, whether you sell wreaths on Etsy, like I do, and most of my students. Not all of my students sell their wreaths, a lot of them make them for personal use, and that is great. But if you are selling your wreaths on Etsy or anywhere else, these things apply to you, and they're so important to always focus on. So you want to control what you can control. And there are levels of what you can control on each of these things. But you want to be building an audience organically. You can't just post on Etsy. You could have the best pictures. You could have the best SEO. Everything can be picture perfect in your shop. But if you don't do your own work to get that ball rolling, your own work would be marketing. And I like to do free marketing, organic marketing, not paid. Because I think that's like the foundation. You can always add ads if you want to, but I don't teach that. I teach how to do all of this organically, so you don't have to spend more money than you need to. But always be building an audience. And yes, social media algorithms change. All of that stuff changes all the time. But you need to just keep working on building it. Being consistent, posting, not just posting the same thing over and over, posting a variety of things, seeing what's working, seeing what's not working. I always share inside my VIP group what's currently working with me, what's not working, and all of that stuff. I always share that with you guys in there. I'm an open book. But yeah, it's important to keep testing things. Maybe a style that you thought was going to do well isn't doing well. Maybe it's not getting views. Maybe that's because your SEO is not good. Maybe it's because your photos aren't good. Maybe it's because you're not getting your own traffic over there. So Etsy works on momentum. So it's so important to get our own organic traffic through marketing, especially in the beginning, because of the way Etsy works. And so if you're starting your own shop, so a lot of this stuff applies to whether you have your own website or Etsy. I like Etsy more, especially for beginners, because once you do get your own momentum going, Etsy's algorithm kicks in, and then you get more organic traffic from Etsy, and they spend a lot on ads and all of that. So it's so important to stay consistent, keep working at it. You never know what thing is going to jump off and skyrocket whatever you were showing in that video. And I say video because reels are really popular right now. Anyway, keep growing your organic traffic. That is something you can control. You can't necessarily control your reach, but you can control how consistent you are. You can control the quality of the things you put out. And you can control how often. That would go along with consistency, but control what you can control. And always be adapting. Go back, see what you've posted. What has worked well? What has gotten you a lot of engagement? What led to maybe sales? What led to traffic to your shop? What items are getting the most traffic from your shop? So really focus on those things. So you want to do that. And it's also so important to build an audience organically, whether you're going to be using ads or not, because you don't want to become dependent on ads. I know a lot of people, like I said, I've never used ads, but what I've heard is that before 2019, ads were dirt cheap and it was really easy to do ads. And then there was the iOS update. And so targeting became a lot more difficult. So ads became a lot more expensive. And if a lot of those people started to panic because they were so reliant on the paid traffic and not spending a lot of time on organic traffic that it really plummeted their sales. So organic traffic, I will always say this, and that's something that no matter what the algorithms do on Etsy or anywhere else, be consistent and constantly grow your audience. Another way, and I talk about this inside my VIP group, is your email list. I think it's so important to have an email list because, once again, algorithms change, all of that. But having an email list of people who have specifically signed up to hear from you and your business, this is a great way to get that traffic maybe to a new listing. If you want to make sales from that, promote a sale, have a way to connect with your ideal customer through email. Email open rates, even if they're lower, are a lot better than the percentage of people who will see any social media posts. So I definitely recommend email marketing. Once you've got over like starting your shop and all of that, it is, I wouldn't stress over it. It's hard to set up at first if you're not used to it, but once you do it, it'll just flow easier. So anyway, hey Haley, glad you're here. And Stephanie, glad you're here. And Patricia and Sharon, Diane, Carolyn, Suzanne, Verlene, Deb, Juanita, Janice, okay, Terry. Sorry, I wanted to say hi to you guys while we're doing this. All right, so I hope that makes sense. I probably said it a lot already. And the next thing you want to do is stay on top of what is trending. So trends change. I've had this before. I've had wreaths that have been so popular in my shop, and I always relist them the following year. And sometimes they still do really well. But then if I'm not constantly coming up with new designs, seeing what's going to be the next best thing in my shop will slowly taper off sales. So it's really, really important to stay on top of what is trending, what people are buying. Yes, bring back what is done well, but as those taper off, you're going to need to replace them with other things that are also popular. So this sounds very basic, and it is very simple. And I say this all the time, but it's simple, but it's not easy. So basically, how you have success is you have great designs. You always want to improve your designs, and you want to have good marketing. And like I've talked about with the organic marketing. So you need to get good designs, and you need to have traffic. Good designs plus traffic equals success. I teach both of those inside of my VIP group. Amber says, hello, where do we find those trends? I have trends reports inside my group. We always stay on top of those. This year we did one for every season, and I talk about what to look for and all of that. And it really depends on your niche. So there's different trends within different niches, but yeah, anyway. Anne-Marie, yes, this is live now, but the recording, the replay will be up here on my YouTube channel, so no worries about that. Dayspring Harvest says, I love your trends reports in the VIP group. Thank you. Oh, Melinda. Thanks, Melinda. I'm glad you like them. They're so fun. Okay, side note, I'm getting distracted. So yesterday in the VIP group, if I'm sure a lot of my VIP members are here in this live. Yesterday in the VIP group, we did a fall wreath, but I also showed them my 3-part formula, how to take a year-round wreath to make it into a fall wreath and a Christmas wreath. Kind of a lot of stuff we talk about in my Stock Your Shop workshops. And I kept getting distracted because I wanted to make so many different designs, and I got so excited. It's amazing how a little amount of something that's on trend for that year can just get you so excited, and it gets those creative juices flowing. That's what the trend videos do for me. And what I've noticed in my shop is those videos and the wreaths that I make with those trends that I share with my group, those sell really well in my shop. And I usually keep a limited stock and then let the VIP group sell them. That's what I usually do. And they do well. But I always also tell them, if you get a winner, keep that thing in stock as much as you can, because that momentum can change your shop, and it can help. So one listing that does really, really well can help all of your other listings do better too. It's amazing. To get to that point, it's hard and it takes a lot of trial and error, but it's magical when it happens. But it does take a lot of work and a little bit of scrappiness to keep it in stock and to stay on top of things. And anyway, so on that note, good designs and traffic. You need to work on both. Keep improving your designs, stay on top of what is trending, and then also work on getting those eyeballs to those listings. So I've said this before, you can have the most gorgeous wreath in the world, but if nobody sees it, it's not going to sell. You could have the best marketing in the world, but if your product is garbage, you might get some sales, but it's not going to last, and you're going to get terrible reviews. So you want to have great designs, good marketing. It's the magic, and that will stand the test of time, but there needs to be tweaking, and it constantly takes work. If you've had success for a while, it's going to dwindle off, and you need to keep working at it. Oh no, Lynette says, I have so many questions, but my list is at home and I'm not. Stay tuned. Oh, that's okay. Yay! Oh gosh, Laura just joined. Thank you, Laura. I'm glad you're in there. I hope you love it. I'm going to do my best to help you reach your goals. I'm rooting for you and all of my members. If any of you are struggling with something, I want to fix it, and I want to help, and I want you to have success, but I can only do so much. So I love it when students apply what I'm teaching them, and it pays off for them, and they have success because of it. It's just the best. Anyway, so if something isn't working, try something new. Does that make sense? So if something's not working, try something new, tweak it just a little bit. One thing I love, okay, I'm getting distracted. One thing I want to mention is something that is very, very important, is you need to keep learning. These are like, keep learning, keep growing, and keep improving. If you stop doing those, if you've had success in the past, it's going to dwindle off, and you probably won't have it anymore. My mail lady's here. I wonder if she can hear me talking. Okay, sorry. Christelle says, are most of your students from the U.S.? Most of them, but we've got students in Canada. We have one from the Philippines, I believe, just joined or is about to join. We've got lots in the UK, but mainly in the U.S. Sammy says, yes. Oh, you retracted. Okay. Well, Sammy did a bunch of, she's a member of the group, and she sold a ton of, I was just checking out her shop the other day because she had a question, and I noticed that there were 2 designs that she sold. Those were the ones that were really, really doing well. Anyway, I hope you're okay with me sharing that, Sammy. Lisa says, hi, VIP group has so many gems. I recommend joining, and I don't even have an Etsy shop, ... yet. Ooh, you're going to have one soon. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Kim says, how much time a week do you spend to get your shop up? How much time do you spend now? Oh, that varies so much. So I have my group, I have my YouTube channel, I have all this other stuff. So my Etsy shop, even though it makes a full-time income, let's see, it just depends. It depends on how many sales you make. You just work on those. Just devote whatever time you can, and you just kind of feel it out. I know that's not the best answer. I don't have a set number because it really depends on you. Like this morning, I have a ton of orders. It's kind of overwhelming right now, especially because I have the group open. So I'm trying to promote my group, share about that, because every time I have my doors open and then I close them, people I get emails saying, I didn't know. And I feel like I'm talking about it so much, but yeah. Where was I going with that? Oh, I also have a ton of orders to make, which is a huge blessing. I had a reel go viral, so a Christmas wreath that I had, and I ordered enough supplies that I thought would last me all through Christmas. No, it lasted me 2 days. So I'm flooded. Do Etsy shops have TID numbers? I'm not sure what you mean. I'll have to get back to that one. Amber says, does my style have to be like yours for the group to work? No, not at all. I mean, I do teach my style, so if you don't like that style or that's not your thing, you might not get as much out of it. And my trend videos might not be for the same audience. You can definitely check it out. You can cancel anytime if you don't like it, but I do also have a lot of business and marketing stuff in there as well. So, yeah. Hello, everybody. Oh, Sammy says, I retracted because my fat finger hit that I sold 13 million instead of 13 sunflower wreaths. I thought it was just an exaggeration, like, I sold millions of these. Okay, that makes sense. Hey, Christina says, new student here from Quebec, Canada. I'm loving the VIP group, so much to learn from. Lynette says, someone else I follow says Etsy wants you to have 100 items in your shop at all times. Is that true? No, I've literally never had 100 items in my shop. I don't think I'd be organized enough to have that many. Maybe if you print on demand or something. I don't think any number. You could have, Elisa, no, you don't have to. And I would check with your state. But you can also use your social if you don't have one of those. So anyway, where was I going with this? Sorry if I'm scared. I'm trying to get through this and also answer questions as I go so I don't miss them. Let's see. Oh yeah, no, you don't have to have 100 items in your shop at all. You just need, I recommend starting with 12 and they should be good. You could have 12 like awesome listings and maybe a few of them sell well. That can keep your shop full time. More listings does mean like more fishing poles out there to catch fish. It does help, but they need to be quality listings. They need to be not just junk holding your shop down. I don't know if that makes sense. What I recommend is starting, I talk about this in my VIP group, which is what we talked about yesterday in our live, how to start without overbuying supplies. And I showed a very practical example, actually, I think a lot of examples there of how to start small, but also get a lot of designs up in your shop. And then once they start selling, focus on restocking those, and then you can filter out or let expire or whatever, the ones that aren't selling well, to kind of see what's going to do well. But it's very, very normal for 20% of your listings to make 80% of your money. So you want to find out what those 20% are and do more like that. And I've got other videos like that here on my channel talking about that. So, all right. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention about keep learning, keep growing, and keep improving. I love the book Atomic Habits. This can apply to any part of your life, but I love applying it to business and wreath making. And he talks about getting 1% better every day. Maybe it's only 0.1% better every day, but keep improving. And these little things that you do, maybe it's just showing up in your stories on Instagram every day. Maybe it's just one story and then adding on that. Maybe it's one story and then a post, 3 posts a week or something like that. Or just any habit that you can stack upon. He talks about habit stacking and getting 1% better every day. That amounts to a lot over a year. And you can look back and see, wow, I've improved so much. And I think it's so important to continue doing that or you're going to get stagnant. So I hope that helps. Anyway, so I also, before people, Christelle says, can we sign up again for your VIP group? Yeah, I have a link. It's open right now. So I have a link in the comments if you want to join. I would love to have you. So I want to talk about discouragement when you see others' success. Everybody's different. Everybody has different attitudes. I love, this is me personally, I love seeing other people's success. It is so motivating for me. I love it. And I love it when I I see my students' success. And that's why I shared one of my students, Tracy, in the video I posted on Sunday. I really wanted people to see someone that wasn't me, that didn't start in 2016. She started her shop at the very end of 2023, and you can go watch that if you haven't seen it yet. But I really wanted other people to be inspired by her because she's working hard. It's like an iceberg. You see the tip of the iceberg, but you don't see all the hard work that has led to that. She's working her booty off and it's paying off, but we see the success, but we don't see all the hard work. So anyway, I never want to come across as this is so easy. You just start and you make your wreath and oh, you're going to have so many sales. I really don't ever want to come across that way. So anyway, Nancy says, hi, Jenny. I enjoy being a VIP and learned some important techniques and practical tips in the past 6 months. Your critique of my shop was very helpful. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Nancy. Elizabeth said Tracy's interview was so good. She has done great work, hasn't she? I just love her. She's great. Joan says, I am a VIP member. Jenny's group is a constant stream of information about wreath making, improving your craft, and having a community of people who love making wreaths. Thank you, Joan. I appreciate that. All right. So when Etsy changes, okay, Etsy has changed. It is harder than it was when I started in some ways. Other ways it's easier because the audience is bigger, like the amount of buyers on the platform is bigger, but there can be more competition. However, so you have to do more marketing on your own than you used to. Just throwing it out there, which is why I'm so passionate about teaching you this. And it's more important than ever to really put more effort into it. But even back then, I've shared, like, my first year was not great. And it's because I didn't market it that much. But anyway. So, oh, Joan says, plus so much more. Thank you, Joan. So a couple things that have happened since I've been on it. Etsy started, they announced that they were going to promote free shipping. And I don't know if any of you have shipped a wreath. It's expensive. And it's definitely expensive if you don't know what you're doing, which I didn't at the beginning. But I do teach how to save money on shipping and all that in the group. But I was like, oh no, my prices are going to be too high if I have to put shipping into the cost of my wreaths. No one's going to buy my wreaths anymore. But I did. I switched to free shipping because Etsy said that's what they wanted. And it's actually worked out great. And it's actually been easier for me because I offer different sizes. And so I can just add that into the cost of my wreaths. Another thing that I was worried about when Etsy made some changes is their localization. So Etsy wants to decrease people's shipping. They're trying to become like Amazon, let's be honest, but they're not. They are coming back a little, trying to focus on the people and everything. But Etsy does prioritize faster shipping. And this is where, and I do have, well, I've had to extend my processing time, but I do recommend if your shop is newer, having faster processing times. I say 1 to 3 days. But one thing they did was localization, because if you're closer, your item's going to get to you faster. But most of my customers are not in states that are close to me. They are in the eastern states, and I'm in Idaho. So I was a little worried about that, and I do think it did affect my sales a little. But keeping my processing time lower was very helpful. And then I started getting more orders from states that were closer to me. And I still do get a lot of orders from those other states. But when that first came out, I was like, oh gosh, this is going to affect my shop negatively. But it's totally fine. And then control what you can control. I focused on staying consistent on social media and all of that. And it was fine. Another thing, I've already mentioned this, focus on your consistency. Whether you are slow and you're starting like, oh, give up, you never know which post is going to blow up. Even if it's just a little bit, you just never know. Focus on your photos. Some photos that worked well for me before, I changed them up now, and there's a different style that works better for me now. I think it's really important to just don't get stagnant. I know I've said that throughout, but it's because it's important. You can focus on your customer service. Make sure you're prompt when people reach out to you, be prompt back. Things like that. So I hope that makes sense. Oh, Kelly says Tracy's interview was such an inspiration. Thank you for sharing. I'm glad. Good. That was really sweet of her to agree to do that. But anyway, ooh, another thing. So, how can I say this? I hear this all the time, like Etsy's too saturated, Etsy's too saturated. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to interview Tracy specifically. It's not too saturated. And another thing, people like to blame that on them not being where they want to be. And it might have something to do with it. It could. I'm not saying it doesn't. But you know when you get a new car and then all of a sudden you start seeing all the same car everywhere you go, but you never noticed it before? The same is true with wreaths. I know when I started my Instagram, or just like when you start something or you look at something more often, you're going to get targeted for ads and suggested accounts that are like that. So I have a wreath making account. So I get suggested other wreath making accounts all the time. I get ads for other things because that's what I'm interested in. So I now see, oh wow, there's so many of these out there. Everybody's already doing it. Where when I'm talking to people in real life, they ask what I do and they're like, oh, people do that outside of Christmas? Like where I live, maybe it's different in the South, but where I live, people have Christmas wreaths. And they don't, it's getting more popular now, I guess, but there's just not as many people who decorate all out for every season. So people are shocked that I can make a full-time living, a good full-time living, selling wreaths on Etsy. And so it just, and that's very, very common. So we think that, oh my gosh, everybody's selling wreaths on Etsy. They're not. And if they are, they're going to get burnt out if they don't have the right tools and the right, if they're not staying on top of things, the cream will rise to the top. Ooh, I wanted to say another thing about a change that can actually be helpful for newer people that Etsy has done. They don't want to have the same shop featured on the first page. So they'll have one item, maybe two, and the rest will be different shops. So it's easier to break in with your designs than it has been before, potentially, because of this change. So let's say I've got 5 magnolia wreaths that are selling well. Maybe in the past, all 5 would be ranked on page 1. This is just an example. I don't actually have 5 magnolia wreaths, but I do have several that have sold really well. So Etsy would only put 1 or 2 on the front page instead of all 5. So people who also sell a similar design or want to compete on the same keywords, there's a better chance for them to rank there. So that's an Etsy change that can possibly affect people that are doing well now. So we'll have to like transition and switch up our tactics a little, but that can benefit newer shops. So it goes both ways with Etsy's changes. Another change that they've done is they added, they've done not super recently, but they have UPS on their shipping, which is great. I use a third party, which I share in the group, of course, to ship my wreaths. But you can ship on Etsy and save a good amount now still with UPS, because my larger boxes, it costs a lot less to ship UPS. So anyway, I don't know. I posted a reel this morning and I showed the boxes on my front porch, a reel on my Instagram. and one side was really, really full, and the other side was kind of smaller. One side was for UPS, and the other side was for USPS. So, in case anybody was wondering, I ship a lot of things UPS. All right, so that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't want you to get discouraged. Holy cow, I've been talking for over 30 minutes. I'm so sorry. Very passionate about this, and I just want to encourage you that your hard work will pay off eventually. I genuinely believe this. If you're doing the wrong thing over and over, it won't pay off. But if you're consistently learning, trying to grow, putting your work out there, I really think that you can be successful. And I want to help you. On that note, let me answer some questions. Nancy says, I got a little discouraged this summer, but I remembered your advice and tried not to get down and have already noticed an upswing. I've sold 4 in the last 3 days. That is awesome, Nancy. Congrats. And yeah, oh my goodness. Who else every summer questions, oh my goodness, my business is done for every summer. Yeah, that's totally normal. And yeah, it's totally normal. So just try new things. Don't be afraid to try new things. Pivot and stay on top of what's trending. And I'm here to help. Like I said, my group is open. I will have it linked in the description. It's linked in the description of this video, but also I will have it in the pinned comment. I don't know if it's a pinned comment right now. Can I do that? Well, it's in the comments. I'll try to pin it later. But does anybody have any questions? I know this was kind of I planned on doing it, but I didn't actually get it scheduled until like a half hour before I went live. So I apologize. It's been a busy week. It's been very busy, but I love it. This is not a live in the VIP group. This is a public live here on my YouTube channel. So you didn't miss anything, Carol. I do my lives there on Mondays. Yes. Haley said, not a question, but after auditing my shop last week and staying consistent with building my recent reel reach, I sold 8 wreaths since. Thank you again for checking out my shop. Haley, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, so proud of you. Libby says, thanks, Jenny. I have enjoyed the live. You're welcome. Yes. So if you're curious what my VIP group is, I teach people how to make wreaths like a pro and also sell them. Do you have to want to sell them and have a business to be in the group? Absolutely not. There are a lot of members who make them for themselves and for friends and family, and they just want to make beautiful wreaths as gifts to decorate their own house. It's great. That's how I priced it. And then when I started the group, so many people wanted to sell them as well. So I teach that as well. So it's not only a wreath making group, it is a business group. It's both, but it's priced as just a wreath making group. So people have told me, Jenny, you should charge more, but I don't want to. So anyway, that's that. If you have more questions, please send me an email, ask here. I'd be happy to help, and I'll stay on a little bit longer if anybody else has questions. Sammy says, don't apologize. I'm soaking it all up. I'm so glad. You are welcome, Patricia. Stephanie says, I still can't figure out how to make several videos into one. Have you made a new video teaching this? I haven't made a new one, but I do have a video on InShot. And that's what I like to use to edit my tall videos. So there's lots of trainings in there. Carol, I have a video here on YouTube for free all about how I price my wreaths to sell. And then I also have a training inside the VIP group all about pricing. So whether you're in the group or not, I've got you covered. All right. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget, doors close on Thursday night, probably like midnight. I say probably. I'll stay up late that night to officially close them. But if you are watching this afterward, that's okay. That same link will give you more info. You'll just, instead of the link taking you to purchase your subscription, it will take you to join the wait list. And so you'll be notified next time I open the group. So anyway, oh, good. I'm so glad you're a VIP too, Carol. Awesome. All right. I hope that answers everybody's questions. All right. I will see you guys in the next video. Yeah. All right. Bye. Ooh, this is where I end it.